call the meeting to order. If everyone would please rise for the pledge. We're going to have Addie Trace, who's going to come to the front and lead us in the pledge. Right here is fine. Yep, that's perfect, right there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Addie. Next is the roll call. Let the minutes show that all 5 board members are present. Next will be the approval of the agenda.
I'll make it.
First by David. Is there any discussion or questions? Is there a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Kyle. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into informational items, we have 2 spotlight reports tonight. So the first one we're going to start with is the Walton Fire Department. So Dr. Baker is going to take over.
Just for everyone's information, I don't know how many of you are aware that at the second day of school we have a little bit of excitement here just out the back door at the middle school. We had a small fire in a dumpster that was about 100 feet from the school. We believe there was a piece of metal that was hot that had been placed in the dumpster and caught some cardboard on fire. And we had a 5th grade student who was very observant and very alert and did a great job of letting her teacher know what was going on. So Addie Crace is here with us this evening, and we wanted to recognize Addie for her contribution in helping resolve that situation. And we also wanted to recognize the Walton Fire Department, who did a fantastic job. They were here in about 2 or 3 minutes and did a great job. They stepped in and took care of things really quickly. So Assistant Chief Rob Ollier is here with us this evening. So Mr. Ollier, just want to thank you and the Walton Fire Department for your help on the second day of school. You are welcome. So we would like to get a picture of you two with the board members, if we could do that. So if you would like to just come up here, I'll step out there and get your picture with the board members. Board members, if you'd like to step around, and we'll get a quick picture. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you all very much.
Okay. Addie, if you and your family and Rob, if you guys want to leave, you feel free to it. We're not going to hold you here if you don't want to, or you're more than welcome to stay. It's up to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So the next spotlight report will be our new employee introductions.
Mr. Patterson, would you like to start us off?
Yes, I will. So we have a few new employees. Firstly, I'm new to my role, so that's one spot that's new. Colin Peterson is our new assistant principal. He came from the high school. He has a prior commitment, so he was not able to make it. Also, we have Heather Jones, who was not able to make it as well. She came to us from Seattle, but she lived in the area beforehand and has moved back. In 3rd grade, Tara Rokamp, who was with us a few years ago, is now back as a special education teacher, and she was not able to make it this evening, but I do have 2 of our new folks here. Amy Combs is a new kindergarten teacher, and she's doing fabulous, and Ruth Palmer is in 1st grade, and we are super blessed to have them, and they came with great, accolades and a lot of respect from the places they're coming from, so we've got some great new people in our building.
Thank you.
Mr. Ryder, would you like to take over for the middle school?
Yep. We have several new people in our district, and I'll have them stand as I call who's here tonight. We have Jennifer Duncan in our main office. She's not here right now. She's doing hot dog bash. We just finished that up for the band and choir, which Tasha Reeves, bookkeeper, Tiffany Pettit, guidance counselor, registrar, Amber Amstocks, Should sound familiar. Other spots in the family here. PE, physical education and health. Nick Ayers, special education. Good Nick. Christina Negretti, 7th grade science. Haley Turner, 8th grade reading. Aaron Linville, gifted and talented. George Patty, right on the front row there. Custodian, and Brian Stonecker is custodian as well.
Trust me.
What we got? Thank you.
Mr. Nash?
We have 3 new teachers. Start with to the social studies department, and it's Carrie Mayer. She's got kids in the district. And Mackenzie Culberson is a new 9th grade English language arts, but she is at home taking care of her basement right now after the storm. And Mallory Seidel, 10th grade English language arts.
Welcome.
And one other high school teacher, sort of quasi-high school, middle school, Mike Hester in the back row there. He is working with our students in the bridge program. So thank you, Mike.
Jason, would you like to introduce?
Yeah, so we have John DeVita back here, comes to us from Erlanger Schools. So he's been a great help, and he's been very busy the past few weeks longer than us.
I haven't helped anything.
Chris, did you invite our new bus driver?
I did. We do have one new bus driver coming to us from Kenton County. Her name's Kathy Woolenweber, and she's on route number 4, which is currently bus 15. We've had some bus issues, but she couldn't be here tonight, or she would have been. So.
Anyone else new? No? Well, I was gonna let the board take a minute and introduce themselves to you guys, so you guys would know us as well, because I don't know how many of you all live in the district and see these faces very often, so I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves. Kyle, you can go ahead first.
I'm Kyle Art. I don't know what we're supposed to say about ourselves.
Do you have kids in the district? Do you have kids?
Yes, I have 4 kids in the district, plus nieces and nephews. This year I don't have anybody in middle school, but at one point I covered preschool, elementary, middle, and high. Now I just have high and elementary for this year. So I'm Kyle Art, and welcome. You will love it here.
I'm Heather Stewart. I have lived here my entire life. I graduated in the class of 2000. I have a son that is in 7th grade and a nephew that's sophomore, I think. Oh gosh, I don't know. Sophomore, junior, I don't know what grade.
David.
David Turner. I've had 5 children in the district over the years. I've got 3 graduates, and then I've got twins, a boy and a girl, who have been here since kindergarten, and they're now in their final year of middle school. I've lived in the area for, I think, 12, 13 years now. Happy to be here. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. This will be the highlight of your evening.
My name's Stacey Thornberry. I have 2 children in the district. William Alexander, he's in the junior, and Nick is in 8th grade. So I was out of district for quite a while, and I moved into the area, and I volunteer quite a bit in the area, and you guys will love it here. Welcome. It's a good place.
And I'm Megan Jones, and I've lived here, like Heather, all my life, graduated from here. I have 2 kids in the district. One graduated last year, and a junior and an 8th grader, and what else was there? I guess that's it.
Embarrassing moments.
No, no, but you guys will love it here. A lot of people come back here because they love it. When they graduate, they come back, and so it's a special place to be. So we hope you guys feel that feeling and enjoy your time with us. So thank you guys for coming. And now, if you guys would like to be dismissed, we'll allow you to do that. We know you have things to do. Thank you guys for coming. And now all the
Smoke behind
Come on, you back row pew sitters, all the way up to the front. Join us. Back row.
Y'all need to shift and fill in.
Troy knew what he was doing. He was smart. All right, moving into principal's reports. Luke.
Full disclosure, I'm new to this, so my understanding is I kind of give you a brief summary of the full report that I gave you. Okay, so a couple just quick highlights. We had our first day. Some of you were there for that. I didn't get an actual count, but I'm guessing anywhere between 200 to 300 kids brought parents with them. It was absolutely packed. We had people parking on the road just like we do at Fall Festival. And I think the most impressive thing about it was we had parents out of classrooms and moving away from the building. They either stuck around for our PTA Boo-Hoo Woo-Hoo breakfast, or were driving, off to work or the various places by 9 in the morning. So we got a lot of people in there, and we got a lot of people out in a very safe and it was a good morning. And so that, I guess that was year number 2 that we did that. Mr. Hartman had started that the prior year. A couple other highlights of things that we've had 2 PDs, one at the very end of last school year and then one at the very beginning of this school year that when Rob was still with us, we kind of put together. And after those PDs, we sent out just a quick survey to the teachers to say, how beneficial did you feel like this was to you? The first one, we did CPR, AED, and tourniquets for our teachers at the very end of last school year. 98% of our teachers said that was very beneficial to me. And then on August 6th, they came back. We spent our morning working on PLCs, and the afternoon, I actually solicited the help of our own teachers and had them teach our teachers in their areas of expertise. So it was kind of teacher-led sessions, and they had choice. They got to pick where they went, and that had 91% of the teachers felt that that was very beneficial to them. So I like being able to provide PD for our people in a way that is something that they walk away with and they feel like it's helpful for them. Just a couple other quick things. We will begin MAP testing for our fall window this upcoming Monday. We got the schedule out to teachers, and we'll start doing that. And from that point, we'll be monitoring our students in both reading and math. And then lastly, the PTA Fall Festival date has been set. That is on September 20th. I encourage everybody to come to that. That is a great event, and it brings out the community. I mean, you guys are all aware. So that will be on September 20th at our building, 5 to 8. And that's it for the elementary side.
And the good news, there's no football game that night. That's the Saturday game.
We did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I got you.
Thanks, Luke. Troy?
Yep. Spotlight I want to point out is Camp Bearcat. We do this every year. I think we've done it for about, I'm going to say about 10 years now. It's for incoming 5th graders. We had about 87 kids out of about 120 that participated. We try to get them in the building. We had a little bit of hiccup this year with construction, but that didn't seem to hold us back from what we needed to do. It's a time for them to meet and kind of get class expectations from 5th grade teachers. They got to go through the cafeteria line and meet with Rita, and she kind of showed them food options, which that's kind of always a big, mind blower for 5th graders coming in. We did our dress code and fashion show. They love that. It's what not to wear, what to wear to school, so that's a big hit. But it was a good time. I mean, kids love it. Luckily, we were able to get in Wednesday. They got in to get their lockers that day on Wednesday before school started, so that was a good thing for them. Next thing, team building. We took our teachers to Potter's Ranch this year. It's probably been, I'm guessing, about 2007 maybe, since Tricia, you probably went on that as well, for some team building, morale building. We're able to work in different groups that teachers may not normally work with. It was a great day. It was hot, much like today, but it was a good time for us to kind of think differently about what we expect our kids to do, how we expect them to do it, and we were actually doing it. So a lot of teachers, positive comments. I'm going to take this back and try it with my kids this year, and it gets them out of thinking of just paper and pencil, book and doing. So that was a very positive thing for us this year. Last thing we did, that was half a day, and we did a bus tour the second half of the day of the district. Just to let our teachers know, Robbie Ratliff was our bus driver, Amber Brown was the second bus driver, and they kind of, we couldn't print our schedules for kids that day and their addresses, so they kind of narrated as we drove, you know, it's amazing how many kids, they know exactly where they live, their families, their siblings. That was a testament to them knowing the kids. I was very proud of that. But we were able to see where our kids live, all the way into Verona, all the way to Walton. You know, it was a good time. It's very eye-opening to our teachers to kind of see where kids come from, because, you know, they just come to school, they might, you know, dress nice, and they may not live in the nicest house or the nicest, you know, place. So it was very eye-opening. You know, a lot of teachers kept saying, I can't believe, you know, we go from, you know, multi-million-dollar house to, you know, other neighborhoods, and it's eye-opening. We have to train our teachers. We have to deal with all those kids, no matter what income level they come from. It was very, very. Questions for me?
No, just kudos to you guys on doing that bus tour. I really liked that when I saw that you guys did that. It's great.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic, getting everybody grounded, and not everybody comes from the same background. You don't always know what kind of baggage people are bringing with them. And so I think that's great to get them grounded in that. And then I want to give you guys thanks for getting everybody in school on time in middle school. I know that was a challenge. And then also open house, fantastic job there too.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on. It's been busy.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. And Nash.
So we at the high school did a bus tour as well, kind of taking off the middle school. As you know, Mr. Shaler was our driver, so he's got years, you know, a lot of his years, almost all his years in the district, and then I've been here 15 years. But we had another perspective because Lauren Teepin, or Miss Bennett, grew up in the district, so she provided her own insight as a student to now that teacher role, so that was a unique perspective to add. So start off the report with our back to school. We had the PTSA sponsored the new student and family orientation. We did 2 sessions, a day and an evening session, so we had good participation for that. Ms. Neesmith and myself take the parents to one room. Ms. Hester and student assistants do the students, and they do a tour, and that was good. We had really good participation of that event. The 2 sessions really helped get the different working schedules and things like that. Ms. Hester has Bob McDermott set up with Kia to come out and walk the parents and the kids through the FAFSA application process for the seniors. And they will be back in October to actually start putting that document together online. So the one, Ms. Brandenburg, if you can find, is the CCR report. So, gotta love school business. We haven't even seen the numbers from the previous school year, the graduating seniors, and we're already starting to chip away at this data of the current seniors that have been in the building as senior status for 10 days. So as of this week, we have 137 seniors enrolled. 86 of them have already met some status of transition ready, whether that be academic or career. So that's a very good chunk of the seniors already meeting that level as a junior. So to break that down a little bit more, 72 of the seniors are already academic ready, meaning that they've met the math and then reading or English benchmark on their ACT. So that could have been from the junior ACT that's state mandated in March, or it could have been another testing opportunity. 37 are career ready, and that would be through the end of programs we call the COSA assessments. Could be through certifications gained at the vocational center. And 23 have already claimed both academic and career ready. So they have an industry certification and ACT benchmark. We have 51 to work with. We have 160 some days to do it with them, and we are working hard to get those students through there. Mrs. Hester has already started meeting with students that didn't meet ACT benchmark in their senior year to see if they want to go in with our teachers during the seminar period for an 8-week extension task to get some increased and more exposure to ACT content. 41 students right now are scheduled in a math intervention class, and 22 are scheduled into reading and language intervention. And those classes are second semester, and those numbers will come down because those seniors are already signing up to take the different ACT sessions. I believe I heard Ms. Hester say we are offering the September and October ACT here. So we had an October test for the first time that I've known of. So that'll be good for our kids to have that home field advantage. And then if they meet their benchmark, we do schedule changes. If that's not their fourth year math class, so they can come out of those interventions. 45 students are on track to take they have the required classes to take the end of program assessment. So we will give them those end of program assessments. They could either be currently in those classes or already have them on their transcript, but they'll take those COSA, former COSA assessments to try to gain their career status. So, it's our goal that every student graduate college or career ready. We monitor this data very closely, and that's where we stand this week. Any questions?
I just wanted to say that I think it's great. When my kids first started over here from the elementary, it was very closed off to parents, and I think that you guys have done a really good job of having some open houses and meet the teacher if you need to. It's been a lot more welcoming. Even if I haven't had to meet the teacher, I feel a lot more comfortable, not intimidated to come to you guys or Ms. Hester. I think that we're starting to really change a little bit the culture of getting the word out and letting the parents know that you guys are available and you're here to help and we're a team. So I think that's kudos to both of those schools.
I will definitely, that's Mrs. Neesmith. She has that perspective as a single parent, raising her kids. So we do a night session of something, then we flip around, we do a day session of something to give the working parent an opportunity to come to a night or a day session. So I will grumble at her a little bit when she does that, but it's definitely well worth it to see the participation in that new student orientation. And it was good to have the new students away from their parents to take that on with Ms. Hester and build that connection with some of the existing students.
Yeah, and I was just building on that, like the senior awards breakfast is another fantastic thing that we do, because there are a lot of kids that either wouldn't or couldn't come because they've got other obligations they may have to work, and this gives them a chance to make sure that they're here to be recognized. I think that's awesome, and I'm encouraged by these numbers. I know there's a lot to do here, but if I'm reading this correctly, there's like 6 that don't have something like clearly lined out. They're either on track or...
Yeah, and we have that tagged out per kid of who is not going to fall through, but where we can hit each one. So we have targeted conversations and targeted interventions, and we'll work to get every single kid there.
Yeah, I think it's very encouraging, and then as much as we can do on the district page to get out the word about like the FAFSA workshop, I think do as much of that as we can, because that's great, and it's really complicated. And again, some kids aren't going to have the benefit of their parents helping them, and they're going to have to fumble through this on their own. So even as much as we can do in terms of like making announcements at the school, putting it on Twitter, just as many ways as we can get the word out to the kids that they're also welcome to come to this, even if their parents aren't able, they can come and they can learn how to do it, because it is daunting, and they've changed the rules, and so now October is that due date. And again, if you're just now having a senior for the first time, you probably think that's not due till like January or February, but surprise, it's October.
Yeah, I will commend that. With having my first senior, we got like the page and the layout of everything, and then they have a reminder for us, so we know what's going on. I think that's pretty nifty, so I appreciate that.
Thank you, Nan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Moving on to the construction report. Jeremy, a little bit here.
It's a rocky start this year, but we made it through. We got in. I'll go ahead and start with the elementary room divide that we did this year. So I have a Mitsubishi startup still to do in the Frisk room, and we have a couple fire alarm devices we have to finish out our permit. We have our 98%, but we need to finish it out to 100%. Should have that done within the next 2 weeks, and it's wrapped up. I'll say that hopefully, because I need to get one off the list here. The track update, I'm Not quite sure how far along I know you had that last report that was sent out. Ruber came back this week with some more, I believe it was this week, with some more information that they have decided to do that test strip for us. Did you update them on that?
That'll be in your email tomorrow, a description of where we are on that. And it's fortunately, at least for the time being, it's good news. We don't know what the news is gonna be in 6 weeks or, but for now, it's good news.
Yeah, so they did agree with it, and we're gonna do the test strip, we're gonna make the patch repairs, and that'll get the track usable again. And hopefully we can figure out exactly what that issue really was. Really hope so we can finish it out. It's lingering around just a little too long. The turf, everything went in. It seems to be pretty good. They got a couple repairs on the punch list that they have to do, and currently we're still holding water on the edges, which we have talked to them multiple times. Didn't look like they solved it, because I think when it was first put in, there wasn't any ponding on the edges, and then within the last two years, I think before we replaced the turf, we had starting to get some water. It goes down pretty quick, but it also piles up, and it's not supposed to. So we're waiting on some information from them, so we actually excluded them off the list for payment this month. So until they produce something for us, I feel as though we don't need to pay them any more money.
Jeremy, we did multiple tests on that, in that surface, in that area before they put the turf down.
Yeah, and all the drainage tests came back fine, but they didn't do any on the edges, which is where I wanted them to really do it at, and they did it just a little away from the edges. So I think it's just compacted down in there after time, and I don't think they got deep enough, is what I think happened. So they might end up having to roll the edges back and really get down in there a little deeper, and then put it back into place. It's nothing they can't. They can do it.
That's a fairly quick thing to do, right?
Yeah, I don't think it'll take that long.
Okay.
I think they can do, during the week, and have it done before.
Might be disruptive for like practice, but not shouldn't be for a game.
Yeah, practice or two might be disruptive, but they can pull that back pretty quickly, depending on how deep they need to get to loosen it up. Yeah, the storms have.
That's standing over there right
I'm sure you know. Weather hasn't treated us very well. Between lightning strikes and Duke Energy and trees falling, it's been a rough month. So that's where we're at on the turf. Hopefully we get an answer from them this week. They were supposed to produce it before Tuesday, and they haven't produced us anything yet, so we're still waiting on them to get us something back on that. As soon as we get it back, I'll update. Paving, we got one little hole they need to repair in the back of the parking lot. I guess I didn't see it, but I saw it. It's pretty noticeable to me. So they need to patch that and repair that, and that's on their list. They've already done the trench in around the playground at the Early Childhood Center. So that's the only item left on their punch list, other than they do have some striping to redo, because they painted yellow down and they painted white, and then it's really dingy looking. So I'm gonna make them restripe it when they do it this on fall break. They're gonna restripe the rest of it that they kind of messed up to begin with. Yeah, fall break, they'll do the front lot. Good thing, because apparently somebody dropped some paint off today. Yeah, some kind of red paint fell off a truck going by, and it ended up in our lot. So there's not any kind of paint we're using, just so you know. Nothing to do with us here. So good news on the paving being pushed back on that lot. Early Childhood Center, we're finishing the punch list on there, and we have hired a commissioning agent to go over with me. So I'm running out of time to do stuff, so I need to get some help in. So we hired a commissioning agent to go through some of the building with me and without me. Should have that report back in a couple weeks. I noticed that there's quite a bit of stuff that they were supposed to do that they did not do, and that's just an eyeball. I haven't even dug into anything down there. So that's the reason why I went ahead and hired somebody to really dig into it, that has a little more time than I do currently. I feel like that list is going to be pretty large. I've had to fight a little bit with Morrell trying to get that done, because we were going to try to do a really in-depth look on fall break, and he doesn't think we should wait that long. And I argue the point, because I should get what I paid for first, and I know I did. Just a little spoiled back door. We'll get it. That'll be a lengthy list coming out on that, I believe. Middle school, we got a occupancy for the basement coming up tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So we'll find out if we're ready to occupy the basement. They'll go ahead and probably give us a 98% for the Boone County Building Department. We got half of it already. We're gonna finish out the other half. I'm thinking it probably won't be able to move in for at least another week, because I don't think they painted it very well, and I stated that in the meeting today, and I'm gonna make them repaint the ceiling of the ag room again, if it wasn't to the brick standard, basically, or my standard, which is pretty tough. But it looked like 2 different colors and spots, and that's not gonna happen. So we have to have them repaint that, and they gotta paint a couple things in the ag room. They've cleaned up the frisk and the ag and the hallway and the bathrooms now, so that should be fairly clean, and they're starting on the weight center. So it's a slow moving progress, because you get to the point of the job where you have 20% left and everybody wants to pull all their crew off site. And now we're struggling to get people back in to finish the job, kind of like the early childhood center. It's a pretty common construction theme nowadays. Kind of sad, because you leave all your guys in for another 2 weeks, you're done. And you don't have to worry about it. They don't think like that though. So we are struggling with getting them in here, but they're moving along. Hopefully that basement will be fully ready by the end of next week, what we're hoping for. We still will have to move ag back in, of course, and get her set back up. Can't imagine that taking more than a day or two. Probably do it during the school day partially. The school in session might stretch it out just a hair, but I think that's pretty much where we're sitting at now.
Any questions for
you think I left out? Any information you need to know?
Is all the work completed for pay application 6?
Is that yeah.
That's in here tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have Morel still hold money back from all their subs, and he knows he needs to hold it back, because I've updated him on that. So, and I told him that if we can't get the people in there, he needs to put them on notice and give them 48 hours to complete their jobs, or else we're going to go in and hire somebody else to do it for them. So we're almost getting to that point. But the electric crew that was up here getting us ready for middle school is the same one that was doing the preschool. So we're kind of, it's a shifting thing.
Yep.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Next is the attendance enrollment report.
We are not quite at the end of the attendance month, so we don't have anything for you this time, but by the working meeting, we should, if you care to see it then, or we can just wait until the next regular. But attendance has been very good thus far.
Do we have an approximate number how many we have right now? I mean, I know it's shifting daily, but
Luke helped me out in the elementary. We're about
647.
40. I was going to say 640 something. You guys have a approximate
556.
thank you. Next is personnel. Did you guys have a chance to take a look at that? Moving into other, Dr. Baker, you have anything?
I just wanted to be sure that all board members had received a letter from Beechwood regarding the regional KSBA meeting. And if you want to attend that, please just let us know, let Carrie Ryan know at the office, and she'll take care of getting you registered and take care of all that. And I just wanted to thank a few people. Everybody sitting out there, I've been here 14 months now, and you guys blow me away every single day. I'm so grateful and so fortunate to get to work with you. But there are a couple people I want to call out individually that just here the last 3 or 4 months have done some amazing things. And Jeremy is first. Jeremy and I have talked about this, but Jeremy lost several vacation days because he didn't take any vacation this summer. He didn't go anywhere with his family. He stayed here and worked about 70 hours a week so that we could open school on time. Had he not done that, we would not have opened school on time. Jason and his crew, I think I put something in your email last week. We hired a company to redo our network, and that company went out of business midway through the job. So Jason and his crew jumped in and have just about finished that work, but that's put them behind doing lots of other things. So there have been lots of weekends work there. Chris Shadler, Chris is my eyes and ears, and we talked pretty early in the morning, and today was one of those mornings. And Chris and our bus drivers just on days like today shine and do a phenomenal job. This was not an easy morning, and our administrators, especially at the middle school and the high school, and all of our teachers and staff here, just did an amazing job this morning, rolling with the punches, being flexible. Eric Morwessel was sweating more this morning than any human being I've ever seen in my life. Eric had to change shirts at about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning because he was soaked through. So I just want to thank everybody. You guys are a great crew to work with, and I'm so fortunate to get to work with each of you every day.
Anything else?
I wanted to say something.
Okay.
About the goal.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
What you want to do, go ahead.
The boys and girls won all late today. I think that's the first time in school history. And we had both Hannah and William won for all around. So both Verona did great today. It was really exciting.
Yeah, exciting. All right, anybody signed up for audience of citizens? No one? Okay. All right, moving into recommended board motions. First is the approval of the minutes.
I'll make it.
First by David. Discussions or questions? Is there a second? Second by Stacy. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next, approve the treasurer's report. First by Stacy. Discussions or questions? Is there a second?
I'll make it.
Second by David. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is approve the order of the treasurer, the bills.
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Discussions or questions?
I want to say again, thank you. I really appreciate the level of detail. I know it's a lot of extra work for you to go in and do that, but it just makes it seamless. I'm able to look at everything, know exactly what we're doing, why we're doing it. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We hit a little bit of a lull while Danielle was out on maternity leave last year with that, but yeah, it makes it easier for me to, just kind of give you all the information up front rather than field 30 questions. So
Yeah,
so, no problem.
Is there a second? Second by Kyle. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is the approval of the tax rates for the Boone County properties in the Walton Vernon District for the 2019-2020. First by Heather. Discussions or questions? Is there a second?
I was just gonna say, I didn't bring any handouts, so the same thing we went over in the meeting, we talked about, rates remain unchanged for this year because our property growth wasn't enough.
Second by Kyle. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is the approval of tax rates for Kent County properties in the Walton Vernon District for the 2019-2020 unchanged.
I'll make it.
First by Kyle. Discussion or questions? Is there a second? Second by Stacy. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is the approval of pay application 3 for Wriggler Blacktop for the Walton Vernon paving project.
I'll make it.
First by David. Discussions or questions? For a second. Second by Stacy. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is the approval for pay application 6 for Morale Construction for the Walton Vernon Middle School renovation.
I'll make it.
First by David. Any other discussions or questions? Is there a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Kyle. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is approval of field trips.
I'll make it.
First by David. I'd just like to say thanks to the band and the choir and all them for getting these in quick and ag. They're quick. Those are good. Is there a second?
I'll make it.
Yeah, I don't want to do any more 8 o'clock meetings. Second for Heather.
I'm kinda curious about that program.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is second reading and approval of the KSBA policy recommendations.
Make it.
First by David. Discussions or questions? Is there a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Kyle. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next is adjournment.
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Discussions, questions, or a second? Second by Stacy. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. It is 8:10 and we are adjourned.